Good morning. I think you are going seriously through the lectures and you are getting what is taught in these lectures. There is one advantage of this system, that is repeatedly you can go through the lectures and you can make your concepts clear. As I told you, for this topic you have to refer the textbook of microbiology by Ananta Narayan. In the last lecture, we have talked about toxins, exotoxins, endotoxins. Let me remind you, we are talking about factors which are predisposing microbial pathogenicity or virulence. First, we have discussed the adhesins, then we have discussed invasiveness, then in the last lecture we have discussed about exotoxins, and in today's lecture we are going to discuss the remaining factors which are responsible for microbial pathogens. The next is communicability. What is communicability? Communicability is the capacity of a pathogen to spread in community. Some pathogens, they spread very rapidly in the community. From one person to another person, another person to another person, highly communicable disease. You know why we are learning, why you are learning online. Why this system we have to adopt? Because of highly communicable COVID-19 virus. So I think you know very well what is the communicable. No, all infections, they are not communicable. The classic example of this is rabies. You know, rabies is the disease which is transmitted from dog to man. It is a zoonotic disease. And a bite of mad dog introduces the virus from saliva into the blood of a new host. But further from that person who is having rabies, the rabies virus cannot be transmitted to another person. It is a dead end. So all infections are not communicable, but highly communicable infections, they spread very fastly in the community. The next is other bacterial products. Now these bacterial products, they are not synthesized by each and every pathogen, or all products, they are not synthesized by the same pathogen. But definitely these are the substances synthesized by the microorganisms which help a bacteria to spread, to grow, to move in the human body as well as in the other host body, so that the infection can be developed. First is coagulase. Coagulase is an enzyme. Mainly it is synthesized by Staphylococcus. And this coagulase, it breaks fibrinogen into fibrin. As a result of which a fibrin barrier will be formed and the organism will be protected from phagocytosis. The next is fibrinogen. This is an enzyme which breaks the fibrin and it helps a bacteria, a fibrin barrier which is in tissue, and helps the bacteria to spread in the tissues. The next is hyaluronidase. Hyaluronidase breaks hyaluronic acid, which is a cementing substance in between the connective tissues. As this cementing substance is broken down by this hyaluronidase, the organism can move freely in the tissues. The next is hemolysis. The name itself indicates, RBCs from the blood which contain hemoglobin, and these hemoglobin containing cells are lysed by these hemolysins. Because of that, the component or the enzyme is called as hemolysin. Three types of hemolysins are synthesized by bacteria that we will be discussing in your medical microbiology session. At this moment, please do remember this thing. Like hemolysins, few bacteria they synthesize leucocides. Cidal means the thing which destroys the cell, kills the cell. Leuco, colorless cells, WBCs. The enzymes which destroy the WBCs, and it is very dangerous because WBCs mainly are the soldiers of immune system. Phagocytic cells are WBCs. B lymphocytes, T lymphocytes, the cells involved in acquired immunity are lymphocytes. All types of WBCs play an important role in the immunity. Hence, if cell produces leukocidins, if pathogen produces leukocidin, it will be very much helpful to the pathogen and it will increase the virulence, pathogenicity of a pathogen. The next is infecting dose. ID. What is infective dose? Infecting dose is that minimum number of pathogen which is necessary to set up the infection in new host. When you will study medical microbiology, at that time for every pathogen we will be discussing ID is 10 to 20 bacilli. ID is 50 to 100 bacilli. So that is the number, that is the minimum number which is necessary to set up the infection. If number of pathogen entering in the body is below infective dose, pathogen may not be able to set up the infection. Sometimes it is also referred as MLD, that is minimum lethal dose, minimum number of bacteria to cause death. Especially MLD term is used for experimental animals which are used in the laboratory. Next is capsule, bacterial appendages. All bacteria, they won't possess capsule. Capsule is an additional mucopolysaccharide layer which is covering the bacteria, and it gives a protective effect to bacteria from the intracellular killing, like phagocytosis. Phagocytosis is a scavenging mechanism in the human body which removes the pathogen from the circulation. Capsule will protect the bacteria like you are protected with umbrella. If in rain you are with umbrella, you will be protected from rain. In that way, the enzymatic intracellular killing of the bacteria, it will be protected due to capsule, and the enzymes, they are not able to penetrate inside the capsule, and the bacteria will be protected. What is phagocytosis? In detail we will be going to discuss later. At this moment, please do remember this. Streptococcus pneumoniae is the organism responsible to cause pneumonia, and the organism in the body is can set up the infection if it is capsulated. If artificially capsule is removed, artificially the non-capsulated strain is formed and it is injected into the host, it will not be able to set up the infection. So you can get the importance of capsule in virulence of a pathogen. The next is route of infection. In our earlier lecture, we have talked about route of entry of pathogen in the body. Inhalation, ingestion, inoculation, congenital, contact, all these we have studied. For very few pathogens, the route of entry matters least. For example, Staphylococcus. Whichever may be the route of entry, it will set up the infection. But it is not for all pathogens. The pathogens usually which infect respiratory tract, they should be inhaled. If they are kept on the skin, nothing will happen. Pathogens which infect the intestinal tract, they should be ingested. For example, Vibrio cholera can be transmitted only by drinking. Along with contaminated food and drink, pathogen enters, cholera enters in the body. So route of entry of pathogen is very important. If pathogen enters in the body through proper route, then it is virulent, otherwise it is not. Mycobacterium tuberculosis, if it is kept on healthy skin, it will be destroyed due to the secretions of the healthy skin. Instead, if it is inhaled, it will cause leaking. So route of entry is very important. Next is, so here we ends up with the factors predisposing microbial pathogens. These are some small bits. Thoroughly or in short we will be discussing, and these terms you will be reading thoroughly throughout the year while discussing immunology as well as while discussing medical microbiology. So what is localized infection? Infections are two types basically, localized, generalized. Localized infection are restricted to the site of infection, and from that site organisms are not able to spread all over the body. The localized infections by Staphylococcus aureus, various skin infections like boils, restricted to particular site. Generalized infections are the infection where pathogen will not remain restricted to the site of infection, but it will spread throughout the body. See, we have discussed all these: fibrinogen, hyaluronidase, coagulase, then hemolysis, leukocidase. All these, they help for a pathogen to make the generalized infections. Next are the terms, that is bacteremia, septicemia. There are also some terms, that is the viremia. What this mia is, this is nothing but entry in the blood. Entry of bacteria in the blood is bacteremia. Entry of virus in the blood is the viremia. What is septicemia? If the organism grows in the tissues, tissue may be blood. Blood is liquid connective tissue. Grows in the tissue, it produces some toxic substances due to which septic is developed, pus formation is there. It is called as septicemia. And the last is the types of diseases: epidemic, endemic, pandemic. See, with this term, nowadays we are dealing a lot. Corona, COVID, pandemic, because it is distributed all over the world. What is epidemic? When so many people from the community simultaneously get infected with the disease, it is an epidemic. Worldwide epidemic is pandemic. And what is endemic then? Endemic is the infection, or in endemic diseases, the pathogen remains persistent in the community and constantly few cases are reported throughout the year. For example, typhoid is endemic in our Maharashtra. You must have heard in every season. Throughout the year, you must have heard few patients have typhoid. So this is about epidemic, endemic and pandemic. So with this, we have completed the first subunit from your unit number 1, infection. From the next lectures, we will be talking with the second subunit, that is immunity. Thank you.